the glass castle, you're going to need a gin. We're going to use Hendrick's and elderflower liqueur. We're going to use Saint Germain. Simple, fresh squeezed lemon juice. And I think that's it. There is ice in our shaker. Oh, and we're going to garnish them with some blackberries. Just come flying out of nowhere. Alrighty, so you are going to need 2 ounces of gin, a ounce of this elderflower liqueur, and it says a half ounce of simple, but we all know that gin likes things to be sweet, so we're just gonna do that. And then 3/4 ounce of your fresh squeezed lemon. Hopefully I don't get the seed in there. Perfect. Put the lid on it. Give it a good shake. Accidentally knock that over. I can get this part.
You can do it.
Maybe. Hold, please. There we go. Woo! Okay, we made it back. I'm going to use this strainer in case I did accidentally get a seed in there. And a cup. Takes out the pulp too. All right. Cheers to the glass castle.
Oh, all day.
Oh, that's good.
I'm gonna have that all day. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Five, six, 7, 8. Welcome. I'm Hayley. I'm Jenn. And this is Quick Off the Mark. Welcome to another episode. Today we're going to be talking about Crown of Midnight.
Second in the Throne of Glass series. Rating, first time through.
First time through, I think I gave it a 3.5.
Yeah.
It caught my attention. I was here for the, continuing storylines, things like that. What about you?
I think the first time through was the 3.5. I liked it better than I liked Throne of Glass.
Yep, for sure.
It was still a little slow.
I didn't think it was that slow. I was confused a lot through the first read.
Yeah.
Yeah. Second time through, I'm going to give it a 4. It's a 3.54.
Yeah.
It was still good. It definitely didn't change my mind the way that Throne of Glass did going back and rereading it. I still thought it was good. It was just as good as the first time I read it.
I liked it better the second time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is one of my favorite books in this series.
Oh, hands down one of my favorite books in the series. Yeah. I would say this, Queen of Shadows, Empire of Storm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it did remind me of this. There were redeeming parts for Kale for me in this book.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he dances with her.
Yeah.
That was sweet.
Yeah. He does save for the slave Fleetfoot.
Mm-hmm.
Save Fleetfoot at the end.
Yeah, but who does she give custody to? I think that says a lot. That she's like, Dorian, please keep the most important thing in my entire life. I trust you to keep it alive.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think she was like, save Fleetfoot because I gotta do this other stuff right now.
Yeah.
Dogs kind of get in my way. It's like when they're in the kitchen under your feet all day,
Yeah.
And Kel was there. Anyways. Still boring as ever though. Like I just didn't love. Yeah, they're such a boring couple to me, and I know it's because it's closed door. I know that there is no sex scene here.
Some details would be nice.
Details would be lovely,
especially when they're in the broom closet, but it's fine.
And we even get some references to Sam.
Yes.
And saying, which this I will be bringing up. Actually, I might as well just go ahead and bring it up right now. Let's go ahead and do the weekly reminder. If you haven't read the book, go read it.
Yeah.
We're nothing but spoilers. And pretty much at this point, we're spoilers for the entire series because we jump around like that. So, she didn't want to wait to have sex with Kale after they first kissed, by the way. First kiss, straight sex. Because she waited with Sam. Now, let's talk about Rowan.
We're just going to full sin.
Because we can talk about this later. We can talk about this later. But I want to make a point now, a bookmark check, producer Hobby, that I want to bring this back up in Air of Fire and in Queen of Shadows.
Yeah.
And for most of Empire of Storms. We're waiting now.
Yeah, we're back to waiting.
Okay. You're going to jump into bed with Kale the first time you get a little kissy-kissy. Okay, whatever. It's fine. I digress. I'm getting off my soapbox. Be consistent. All right? Thank you, babes. Thank you. Yeah. Lila agrees.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
But a reoccurring segment for Throne of Glass is the Kale and Dorian love story examples.
Love.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Dorian doesn't like Kale's father. I don't think anybody likes.
No, nobody.
And he very much gets put in his place later, and that was one of my favorite scenes. But Dorian said that he could have gleefully killed Kale's father for disowning him, refusing even to see Kale after he got didn't take his title, and that was just funny. He's like, "You can't be mean to my friend. I don't care if you're his dad or not. You can't be mean to him.
Don't be mean to my friend.
Don't be mean to my friend.
Yeah.
He's here protecting me. Bigger than you meanie head." And that was just fun. I just thought that was funny.
Yes, that was a good one. Very much so. Just them each being so willing to put their feelings for Selena aside for the other. They're just like, I want this girl. Like, they both think that they're in love with this girl, but they're like, I'll put my feelings aside for my bud. Yeah. My bud's good. I don't know. Have you met my friend? Have you met my friend Kale? He's really boring, but he's pretty good looking, is what I hear. Well, I'd die for him. I don't know about you, but I'd die for him.
He's really good looking in my head because I was picturing Tom Welling circa Smallville.
Wow, you're giving him a lot of freaking credit, but okay.
They talk about how attractive he is, and he's got but he doesn't have brown eyes, or Tom Welling doesn't have brown eyes. We've discussed Tom Welling's eyes at great lengths before.
I've watched 10 seasons at least 3 times over, saying they were the most beautiful blue eyes I've ever seen. Turns out
they're green. They're green. But that's how I pictured Kale, and that probably is helping his case in my mind.
A lie. So, they talk about how he's just got brown hair, brown eyes.
Okay.
And he's just he's conventionally good looking. But she says when she walks in from Throne of Glass, when she walks into the throne room, she walks into, I think it's like a wagon at this point because they're on the road and sees Dorian. And she's like the most.
That's a throne room. I think there's there's a throne room. Yeah. I don't really know. Maybe it's a castle that they took over. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
we're gonna go with that. That works for me. And that how he's just so breathtakingly gorgeous. Now, if you want to go Tom Welling, dirty Tom Welling, that would be your Dorian right there. If anything, Tom Welling deserves to be Dorian, not Kale. Kale is who's a good-looking plain man. Just there, he. Ooh.
Oh no! Oh no!
Be like Zac Efron now.
Leave that man alone.
I think he's so handsome. That's why I said a good-looking plain man. Zac Efron.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go. Yeah, that's fine. I'll go with Zac Efron.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
What's the one that he's in with Michael B. Jordan? And I was just talking about this the other day. Such a good. I could watch that movie 1,000,000 times over.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
We'll put it in asterisks, maybe, if we figure out how to do that.
We don't have to figure it out no more.
Producer Javi! Woo!
Insert name of movie here.
Yeah.
We'll provide you with information. You just got to insert
Yes,
here.
thank you. Yeah. We're moving on up, guys. I don't know if you heard.
So my second example of the Kale and Dorian love story is that when they are fighting whatever has come out of the gate that she opened,
At the end.
at the end, when she's trying to see Nahemia.
Final battle.
Yeah. Kale says that all that mattered was that Selena and Dorian reached the stairs. He could accept this as his end. If they could escape, he'd embrace darkness when it came, fighting the thing that came through the portal, as long as they were safe. And he's like, I'll die, but as long as Dorian is safe. Selena's like an extra bonus. If she lives, she lives. But it's really like, I'm fighting for my boy Dorian over here. Yeah, he's just willing to die for Dorian.
He's always willing to die. I mean, that is one of the most redeeming qualities, is like he is very, well, some would say self-deprecating.
He is self-deprecating.
That's what I would say. But self-sacrificing in the fact of, in the gaze of Dorian, he's a lot of time, actually, he's like, if Selena, if I save her, cool. But like, I'm really here to save her.
She's just
like, good if I get her out. But like, honestly.
Yeah, right. It's Dorian I care about. Right. Yeah. If I have to sacrifice somebody, Selena's
I love
dying.
that about him.
Yeah.
And I feel that Dorian is the same way, not so much as like, I'm going to consistently put myself on the line, but Dorian is very much like, not my boy. Not on my watch.
You can't take him back to where the hell he's from.
This is my friend. Yes.
They're very cute. So big disclaimer here. I feel like I saw this somewhere and I want to give our listeners just a heads up. Big spoiler, but it's a good spoiler, and I think everybody's going to be okay with this. Nothing happens to Fleetfoot. She lives through the entire thing. Yeah. She lives through the whole thing.
I feel like that's a fair thing, yeah, because I did say if something happens to Fleetfoot, I'm boycotting. But
yes.
Fleetfoot survives.
She survives. Yes. It's totally okay.
Mm-hmm.
So don't worry about anything happening to her. You can continue on your Throne of Glass.
Fleetfoot, now I will say, she got bad parents. Parent.
Yeah, she got a bad parent.
She got a bad parent.
Yeah.
As we've already referenced a little bit towards the end of the book, when things happen and she gets shipped off to Wendland.
Wendland!
To Wendland we go!
No idea where that is. We're going to Wendland!
Our side quest should just be called To Wendland. She very much so asks Dorian, she's like, hey, I can't take this dog with me. Can you watch this dog? And he goes on to say that he will guard her with her life and even let her sleep in the bed, which, sweet baby Dorian, oh my God. He talks about how he, like, in Throne of Glass, how dogs are just used as tools and they're you don't, Fleetfoot gets to sleep in the bed. Come on, Daddy, all day, son. Yeah, so Fleetfoot survives, but again, bad parent, just leaving it behind.
Yeah, it's because she leaves her behind again.
Yeah,
multiple times. She's like,
each book we're going to tell you who now has custody of Fleetfoot. Truly, because it just rotates, and then like all of a sudden we're like, where is Fleet? Has anyone seen or heard from Bark lately?
Yeah.
Question.
I am team Fleetfoot, but I don't care what happens to Broccoli in the next book.
Oh, we didn't even get to talk about that. No.
I don't care what happens to the cat.
Oh no, the cat.
Sorry, cat people.
It's not a cat people, dog people thing. I'm just like, Broccoli what?
Yeah, that just it. So something happens to Broccoli, I don't care. But you don't have to worry. Nothing happens to Fleetfoot.
Yeah.
He's good all the way through. She did escape when we started reading these books, and I remember telling you, I think everybody dies.
You did. That was very much so. Your theory for this entire series was everyone dies. Yeah.
Except her. I was like, I will not be continuing on if this dog does not
make it to the end.
Yeah, we riot. But she's good. So, disclaimers away.
She does get in a little bit of a issue.
Yeah.
At the end of the book, with when the ward gate gets opened and, she jumps through.
Yeah, she's trying to save them. She's like trying to be protective.
Yeah, she's being a good dog.
She's being a good dog, And so Selena has to go in after her, and that's when we realize that Selena is truly a fae.
A fae. Yeah, she switches form. And and Kale is there because he's there to save Selena.
Yeah.
Save Dorian.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Kale's there, so he sees it, and he is absolutely mortified. What the fuck is that? Fuck that! Like, what is it? Like, literally after this, all of a sudden, he's like, I can't even see her. I'm like, you're a little dramatic, bro.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. For all of his redeeming qualities, just like one redeeming quality for about 5 bad ones, and that's like he can't get over the fact that she's a fairy.
Well, and not only that, but like, this is another thing I had to ask Hayley about, because when you have a fae form,
yes,
and what is her fae form? Like, why is it so bad and ugly that Kale just can't get over it? It's just her.
It's just her with elongated canines and pointy ears.
Yeah,
it's not like
that's what threw you off so hard, bro. I'm very confused.
Yeah, it's not like some of the other fays in the book that actually like transform into something else. She just is her, but tall and
yeah, she's not
a
hawk or a wolf or
give it the people from Avatar, except not blue.
Right. So seems a little weak ass to me, but
yeah. She also immediately, as soon as she is the King's champion, she's like, I hear what you're wanting me to do. However,
but I think I've got a better plan.
I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
I think,
which is something I truly loved about Selena in this book, was that the king was like, go kill these people, and you think she's doing it,
right?
Especially because the first opening scene is her going in and like
dropping this head,
right, to kill this family, just to find out that she's like, hey, you're on a list, so you got to get the hell out.
I either kill you, or you run away. Which one do you want?
I'm giving you an option here,
right?
Yeah.
But it was like immediate. She was like, I do hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I think this is a better idea.
Well, I wasn't going to do what you said anyway, to be quite frank. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And then Archer ends up on her list. She knows Archer.
Which is somebody that she knows from back in Arabin Hamel days, from her assassin days. Mm-hmm. He is a courtesan under Clarice, who will play a role later with Lysandra and all of that. Mm-hmm. But she's a known, madam, and she rules with an iron fist. And once you're in her court, for lack of a better word, in her cadre, if you will, you are now indebted to her basically forever. There's no getting out, right?
She's like literally the female version of Arabin.
Yes, very much so. Yeah. And so he's doing his job when we meet him. He's out being hey ladies.
Yeah.
You want to give me money for sex?
Yeah. I could not stand him from the jump. I was like, this is suspicious.
Really? I'm not going to lie. He's very smooth talking. I liked him. I was like, oh, he's a guy that's in a bad way. He wants to get out. I was shocked when I will say I was surprised when we get the end of Archer's story in this book, because I did think that he was running with the rebels. So she goes to confront him about running with rebels. He's on the list. And, he says immediately, no, I'm not doing that. That's not me. But I can get you the information that you're looking for, because, I've got the hookup.
Yeah.
And I thought that was you flipped real fast for me there. But I was like, you're also lying about running with rebels. I think that but maybe you're just in a bad way and trying to get out too.
Maybe. He was just very suspicious as soon as I was like, no.
Yeah. Good eyes on you then, because...
Yeah. Roland too.
Roland immediately is suspicious. He's just a jackass. He's like the little twerp cousin that comes in, and he's had too much money for too long, never got his butt whooped, never got his hand slapped, never got in trouble for anything.
Yeah, and then he's like probably relatively attractive, so he thinks he can get away with everything.
See, I imagine like a Dennis the Menace. They say he's blonde, so I just gave him Dennis the Menace. Like, he's just like
Yeah.
I know. They say, yeah.
Yeah.
They say he is good looking.
I mean, he's related to Dorian, and you're obsessed, so he would be relatively good looking.
Yeah.
This book does start we add so many side characters, and it starts in this book.
Mm-hmm.
It's like in the later books, you are reading chapters in somebody's point of view, and then next thing you know, there's this random witch you're following around, and you're like, the fuck? It starts in this book. Not the point of views, but like you start getting introduced to more characters. It's not just the three of them. More like Mort.
Mort, which I really wish, but we don't see any more of Mort.
No.
This is the only time we see Mort, which I really would have loved to have kept more throughout. I get it. We leave. She does other stuff. A lot of other side characters are coming into play. But I loved Mort.
Yeah.
I saw the Alice in Wonderland.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very much so. Yeah.
Yeah, he was super sassy.
Okay,
And
so
then he was
Mort,
like,
who else?
You don't find out till later, but the old man that's there when Kale gets kidnapped, he is in charge of the rebels.
Yes, and
Yeah.
Knox. But we
Yeah.
got Knox in the first book, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grave dies.
Yeah, I don't think we get that many side characters in this book. Now, we do. We get a lot more, obviously, in Air of Fire and so many more in Queen of Shadows. But yeah. See, I very much so, when I think of this series, Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, unto itself, its own thing. This is the Celaena, Dorian, Kale, Fleetfoot love story.
Yes.
Very much so. And then we're going to go to Assassin's Blade, which is a prequel, which stands alone. The fact that it's a few different novellas put together, I think was a great idea because it moves the book along so well. Sorry, we'll get there. But, so that stands unto itself. And then we've got the rest of the series.
Yeah.
To me. It's very much broken up into 3 parts.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So I think that these 2 books really, truly, they encapsulate their own thing. And then we kind of move on from there and find other things. And other characters as well.
Yeah. Yeah. This is going to be one for your knock against Kale. When he gets captured, then he all of a sudden remembers that Celaena is an assassin and that she does all of these terrible things, quote unquote, and then he has a problem. And then he absolutely loses it when she kills Archer. He's like, I can't believe you did that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just like, you
knew that.
You're mad that the assassin is assassinating?
Yeah. I love all the memes that I'm seeing now of Kale being like, when you find out your assassin girlfriend is actually an assassin. Also, she's so open about it for the entire series.
Yeah.
About killing people.
Yeah.
And I guess because he thought that she wasn't killing these people, because she had told him that she wasn't killing these people, that maybe she had just never had. But then again, he was running up to her after he kills Cain and is like, how do you live with yourself killing these people and having to live with their deaths? And she's like, well, bitch, you get over it. They stick with you, but you gotta move on.
You gotta move on. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like this is honestly, I think, when I started to not like Kale. Because I did like Kale beginning, the first read through, and I was like, well, at least she's hooking up with somebody.
Yeah.
But then you're so self-righteous in coming to me and saying, how dare you kill people, when you knew that you are the one that threw me into the ring to be the king's assassin.
Yeah. This book really made me not like him, especially because I get that he thought he was being tested by the king, so he didn't say anything about the threat to Nehemiah's life. And do I think Celaena should have blamed Kale for Nehemiah's death as much as she did? I don't really know, but he should have said something. She's obviously openly lying about what she's doing on the side.
Right.
So why don't you tell her, and then y'all can lie together, and then everybody's okay.
Yeah.
But there's
he can't lie.
So much communication. Yeah,
he can't lie. That she knows that he can't lie. She doesn't trust, as much as she says that she wants to love him and that she trusts him, this, that, and the other. Sorry, microphone. She very much so knows that he cannot be trusted with any secrets because his ultimate loyalty lies with the throne.
Yeah.
That's his ultimate downfall, I think, for the entire series, is that...
But he does say that.
No fault to his own, he's been indoctrinated so much that you take your orders, you follow through, you complete a task, And I think that that's what he has such a hard time breaking from, no, there's right and there's wrong.
Yeah.
Whereas in the world is gray, especially for Aelin, which is why it was never going to work between them. She lives in the gray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he talks about how he just openly, and after Nehemia dies, he just like openly trusted that the king was doing the best.
Right.
Or
Yes.
like,
I mean,
like,
hindsight is 2020. So
it is. It is.
Yeah. But Nehemia's death, we can talk about that.
Yeah. It was very anticlimactic both times through. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. I felt she also, again, because I want to reiterate how right I was about this, she knew going in that she was going to die.
yeah.
And so she makes reference, like these very vague references to it throughout. And so I guess when it happened, I wasn't shocked. And then a lot of people about, the violent nature of it all. If you watch the Saw movies, I imagine that one, I think it's from Saw 2 or 3 maybe, or they just like pull them up. Like, that's just what I imagined it, just being like ripped apart from the insides everywhere. So like, again, we're desensitized to things now because we watch too much shit. But like, yeah, that's what and it wasn't, I know a lot of people were shocked by it. I wasn't personally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was expecting it both times through, obviously the second time, but
Right.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it wasn't, I don't know, she died and I was like, oh, okay. Well, I guess here it starts. Here my theory starts. Everybody's going to die. And this is where it's starting.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But
I also wasn't going to miss her that much. She's kind of preachy.
it's kind of preachy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
she also wasn't like super helpful.
No, she was very vague. Like, if you know you're here to help me get to the right thing, do better.
Yeah.
Can you be clearer with your words, please? And also,
Mort was more of a help than
truly. And she's spoken a lot of riddles. And then also, when she breaks through and has the vision of Nehemia, and she goes, "I thought you were smart." I was like, bitch, you're dead, and the first time I see you, and that's what you have to tell me?
Yeah.
Like, I'm over here crying, telling you about how sorry I am and how I couldn't save you and, like, how I miss you. I thought you were smart.
Yeah. Okay.
This is the wrong vibe.
I did not come here to get scolded.
Did I miss something? Yeah. Yeah. But the death of Nehemia then spurs the rest of the story, truly.
Yeah.
Like, she makes the promise that she's going to do whatever she can in her power to save Elway and the people of Elway, because that's Nehemia's people, and that is what she does for the rest of the book. It's all about freeing them, and
yeah.
But
she does take that, when Nehemia calls her a coward, she takes that to like heart.
Yes.
Everybody in these books gets
they're so sensitive.
Yes, and they're incredibly self-deprecating.
Oh my god, I can't stand it.
It gets so much
Except for
worse.
Dorian, he's not.
He gets pretty self-deprecating in the last book.
Well, do you know what happens to him?
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
If you did that shit to you, also be, he gets to be sad for a second. Okay? Yeah, so, yeah, everyone in this, and everyone is, you think that, is it Rowan is pretty self-deprecating as well? Adian, that's it.
Adian is incredibly self-deprecating.
That guy. But then, yeah, you stand out and talk on your tongue all the time. You hate yourself, and yet you continue this behavior. I do not feel sorry for you.
Yeah,
that's a whole. I cannot wait. Cannot wait till we get to the cadre. That's probably the best.
Yeah,
to the Magic Mike, if you will. I like to think of them as Aelin's own Magic Mike. Yeah. So, spoiler alert, there's a big reveal at the end. Selena Sardothien is actually
Aelin Ashriver Galathinian.
What?
Yeah.
What?
I know. Yeah. That one was pretty shocking.
I was surprised the first time. I truly was, because I did not think that it was the same. And I had seen the memes on Instagram and that kind of allude to the fact, but I guess I'd never been like, And yeah.
Yeah. I didn't put it together at all.
And then I went back and I was like, is there something I'm missing here? I was like, no, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Second time I was like, she's been saying it this whole time.
I know. When she's talking to Archer and don't mind us for playing Fetch the Dogs. When Archer is like telling them that like Aelin is raising an army or a rebellion, it's not an army at this point, but that she's still alive and that she's raising this army and that she's like trying to reestablish her court, like what's left with her grandfather's inner circle or whatever. The way that I would if I was Selena or Aelin, whichever, and he's telling me this, I don't think I'd be able to contain my face. I can't contain my face most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever I'm thinking is on my face. It might not come out of my mouth, but it's definitely on my face. I'm not sure that I would be able to look at him and not been like, she's doing what? Who? That's funny, because I'm standing right here and I'm not doing shit. I'm ignoring the king's task, like, outright. I'm not doing none of this.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I literally, I'd be like, you're doing what? With who? Okay. Love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you just, like, hear that you're, like, starting this revolution. It's like, well, this is an interesting rumor mill. I didn't know that this was what I was doing in my spare time.
The thing is, honestly, while she didn't start it, she was the reason in the face behind it, and then she ultimately is gonna lead the revolution. So they knew that she wouldn't do it, so somebody had to. No, they're pulling her out from hiding. Let's not lie. They're pulling her out from hiding. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to. I think that it was a whole movement where people very much so knew that they could pull her out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess magic was gone for 10 years, I guess. So the king has been a tyrant for 10 years, and I guess they really just got tired of him. They're like, well, I bet if we say these things but nobody really knew that if she was dead or not.
Right.
Because when Kale is researching, when he starts to get a clue or whatever, they talk about how her grandfather was murdered and her parents were murdered, and she woke up in their bed, but they have no idea what happened to her, so they don't even know if she's alive. Right.
She's assumed dead.
Correct.
Because they assume that she was thrown into the river.
And this, I guess it's because Nehemia started that rumor because Alana told her to. I guess that's what we figured out way later. Because I was like, why would they pick her? Of all people that are missing or that were royalty, why are you just going to assume that it's this one person? But I guess it had to be her.
It had to be her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or it had to be her and Dorian.
Yeah. I mean, it did have to be Dorian, but.
So magic is alive. We find out in this book.
Alive-ish.
Alive?
It's not alive. One person having magic is not magic alive.
Dorian has magic.
Magic is not alive. Dorian has magic. His brother doesn't have magic. Magic can't be alive.
Yes, it can be. If he has magic, magic is alive.
Barely.
I don't understand the hate on this. I'm going to be very honest with you. I will give you credit on, but he's got magic.
He does have magic.
He busts a window.
Because he's mad.
Yes, he's mad. And this, that's cause and reaction. Goes to this witch. Baba Yellowlegs.
Oh, look, you got it twice.
I know. And has questions for her. Which I'm like, that's the stupidest thing you can do, bro. Why are you going to the witch?
I know.
Why are you going to the witch? Why, of all the things? I mean, I get you need to find out some shit without, being noticed.
But you're going to go to the witch?
But you're going to the witch? The witch that hates you. And you have to pretend to not be you so she doesn't know who you are. Guess what? Your face is everywhere. Oh, that's cute. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like there could have been a slightly more safe choice for him to go start asking questions than
Agreed.
the witch that is in town for a carnival. Come on.
So then Selena starts getting suspicious. There's some things that are happening she doesn't understand. She actually goes to Bobby Yellowlegs to ask some questions of her own. And she's like, well, your friend, that Halliburton, he was here the other day asking questions too. And she's like, oh, shit.
Yeah, this is bad. This is real bad.
Something's going on. Now I've got to take care of this bitch. And I also need to find out what Dorian is going around asking about. So through a lot of mirrors and stuff, Selena does kill the witch.
Yes.
She gets left a mark on her body, which is very important because that's how later in the book other people will know that she did that exact thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I remember at the time thinking it's not a big deal. Like I just imagined her as like this old, crunchy, like witch lady, and it wasn't a big deal that she killed her. Like,
yeah,
she's probably gonna die soon anyway. She was like 500 years old.
Yeah, but I guess that's not exactly what she looked like.
No,
I don't think so.
Was she pretty? She was, oh, well, they do talk about her iron teeth, and so maybe that's why I thought that she was like,
yeah. I mean, creepy, yes. I don't know. That's just, I don't know how I pictured her. I pictured her actually kind of fat.
Really?
Yeah.
I imagined her almost, you know how when you see Muppets sitting out with their legs out? Kermit the Frog. Like, that's what I just sitting on the back of a wagon with your legs just like probably like a little old lady scarf on her head, just yeah.
Nope, not how I pictured her at all.
Yeah. I love this. Oh, speaking of, insert here, we did search up what the little folk look like.
Yes.
And we were both wrong.
Yeah.
They're like,
what is that movie? There is like, with the numbers and their little like stuffed dolls. Insert
give me
new
more.
Movie title.
You're gonna need a lot more than that.
It's like he's got a number 13 and he's a little rag doll, but he's like stuffed in his head and he's like made out of like old-timey potato sack kind of.
So what they look like is like little ghost aliens. And I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Ghost aliens?
I'm gonna look it up and insert here, Javi.
Insert photo here, producer Javi.
He's gonna kill us.
Yeah. They're tree people.
Yeah.
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 Well, alien. Wrong.
Yeah.
Which I kind of like this better. It's different.
They kind of look like mushrooms with legs.
Aliens?
Maybe.
Yeah. So now we'll insert a picture. We'll look up what Baba Yellow Legs looks like, and we'll update you on the next episode of that. So, okay.
Oh man.
But this is the first time that we're kind of introduced to the witch.
Yeah.
Breed? Is that the wrong word? Like we have humans, we have fae, we have witches.
Mm-hmm. And there's a couple different types of witches.
Yes. They kind of go off into their own factions. There is the blue blood. There is the Coggin. There is welcome back.
The yellow leg.
Yeah, and then there's one more.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You listed them all kinds of out of order, and they're in my head, and so now I don't know.
Fix it.
You're the one that said the words.
Okay, well, we'll get back to that because that comes in at a different time too. So
it's gonna bug me, just like the little thing that I'm talking about.
You want to look it up now? Here, I'm looking it up now.
Great, I'm gonna look up that thing that I was talking about. Hold please. We'll be right back.
What kind of Blackbeak, blue blood, yellow leg, and
there
then
you
there's
go.
Coggin. Yeah.
Okay. I was not able to look up the thing that I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
So,
Come here, babes. Come on. There you go.
So, yes, those are the types of witches. They become super important later. But
We're introduced to the witches.
yes,
Yes.
Selena Aelin kills Bobby Yellowlegs, and she is the like head witch of the Yellowleg clan, right? She's the head. She's like the head.
Yes.
Yeah. So
She's the matron, if you will.
yes. So that becomes super important later. And then she like burns down her carnival cart thing.
Yeah,
and the
she sticks her in an oven.
Yes. Yeah, giving Hansel and Gretel.
Hansel roll. Love it. Yeah.
And the king actually finds her later. Finds out later. He's like, oh, she wouldn't just somebody killed her, and so he's got some suspicions. But then Selena finds out for real that Dorian has magic because she goes in and she unlocks all of these stupid doors. And I feel like they were so important because each time the number of doors decreased by like half. I was like, oh, this is going to be important later. No, it's not. But I just thought that was like a really oddly specific detail that didn't come of anything later. But so she's dumb. She goes through the fucking library, opening up all of these doors, and then gets chased by this thing that was once a man that's been tortured and is no longer a man. Dorian has to help her shut the door, and then they look at each other and goes, who's explaining first?
Right. Somebody has something to say. And
you or me?
Yeah.
And she's like, I guess I'll go first. Did you know that you can't talk to Bobby Yellowlegs about the thing anymore? The thing, I killed her. It's fine. Nobody knows. But like,
yeah, I did this. Well, it turns out I have magic and I have questions. So now what are we supposed to do?
Yeah, now what do we do with it? And she's like, I don't know. I don't know.
What should we do about this?
What should we do about it?
Nobody has a GD plan.
No. Not a single plan. I will say that Sarah J. Maas is super consistent with a lot of things in all of her books. Libraries, creepy.
Always.
If I ended up in a Sarah J. Maas book, I would not go to a library.
Well, things live in a library.
Every time.
Yeah, because you have to go to the library to find shit out. But just know something is there. It's a monster. It might be a few things, actually. It might be living things. It might be dead things. It might be spirits. It might be your worst fear if you're Cassian.
Yes. Yeah.
Just no wonder he can't read. It's okay. I like him dumb.
I just would not be going into a library because they're all creepy. And every single one of her books, they're creepy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely creepy.
But I'm here for it. Libraries can tend to be creepy anyway. I mean, have you ever been like in the back section of them?
Yeah.
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 I went once. It was not fun. I never went back. I go to the light section of the library. Yeah. Where the smut is.
Yeah, right. Yeah. We talked about this briefly last time, but I wish there were details with the smut.
Yeah, I didn't mind that there weren't any details about the smut in this one. It was just her and Kale. Literally, like it. I thought that I missed something in the reread of it. In my reread, like literally, because like they're kissing, they're on a balcony. He kisses her. And then, like, they go to her room or his room, and he's like, are you sure? And then, literally, the next thing we see, here's him cuddling after post-coitus, and I'm like, where was the meat in this bread? My sandwich is missing something. It's 2 pieces of white bread just laying on top of each other. Was that as fun for you as it was for me? What the
There could have been details. There could have been good.
It could have been literally a paragraph.
Yeah.
He takes off her shirt. Something. Anything.
I think she was in a dress, but yeah. Takes off her shirt.
She wasn't a dress. The dress sounded bomb, by the way.
Yeah.
That
she
dress.
does have some like
snatch, honey. No wonder he wanted to stick it in. Yeah.
She's got some great fashion.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will say, like, Selena and Aelin, especially, like, later on down the road, fashion for days. Like, I will say that I love that that's one of the things she talks about when she starts getting all this coin from being an assassin. And she's like, I have a nice thing.
Yeah.
And I'm going to lean in and I'm going to, like, let this be my thing because now I've got the funds to support it. So I am walking around in this, like, very couture,
Right.
one of a kind dress.
Right.
And it's just snatches my body in all the right places.
Yeah, she doesn't shy away from the luxuries at all.
I like a bag, I'm gonna get a bag.
Yeah, it's giving. You're not on TikTok, so it's not going to matter. But she gives Leo Skeppy for those of us out there that have TikTok.
I have no idea what you're talking
It's
about.
great. Aylin gives Leo Skeppy, so I'll show you.
Okay.
Yeah. And I don't blame her. Like, you're working hard. I want to smell nice. I'm gonna have lavender soap that nobody else can use.
Oh my god.
Next week is gonna be rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're doing Assassin's Blade next.
Yes.
I will go ahead and preface this by saying that I was led down the wrong road the first time we read this series. She got ahead of me.
Shocking.
So she went from Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, to Heir of Fire, to Assassin's Blade. I don't know what kind of Google
lies, all right? I'm sorry. It lies. There's a lot of misinformation out there.
You know what it really was? She was on her honeymoon and hadn't downloaded Assassin's Blade to her Nook yet, but she had already downloaded Heir of Fire. So she's like, I'm going to read this. She's in Ireland. She can't get connected right. So then
That's
she's like,
exactly
no,
what happened.
I'm going to read Heir of Fire first. I was like, I don't think that's right. I don't think that's how we're supposed to do it. And then because she did it, I did it because we were going down this. As I had questions, I needed to be able to answer them. So we're reading Assassin's Blade next, as it should be, because a lot of that Assassin's Blade stuff comes into play in Heir of Fire.
Yeah.
I didn't even know she had an apartment. Whose apartment are we going to? I was so okay. Anyway. Yes. So.
Yeah. Some of the Google stuff that I read said that was okay way to read it. So
no, I'm going to leave a comment on that because no, incorrect. Yes. So next week's gonna be rough. There's gonna be a lot of new characters that we have to talk about, and
it's all important.
Sam,
Sweet Sam,
not to be confused with Sweet Baby Dorian, but Sweet Sam.
Yeah,
He's just a kid. There was this video that I sent her. There's we follow a lot of AI artists that do a lot of the fantasy artwork and things like that. And there was one about Sweet Sam, and I was like, he's just a boy.
Mm-hmm.
He was just a boy.
Mm-hmm. I have a lot of Sam theories. I'm excited to talk about Assassin's Blade.
Every book from here just continues to get better and better and better. So we're very excited.
Yeah. You get so many characters.
So many. But they're very important.
They are very important.
Yeah.
And at least she does call them by the same name throughout the entire series. Like, there's no nicknames, there's no last names, so it's easy to keep up with the characters. It's not like you make it into book 3 and then we're all of a sudden calling everybody by their last name. It's not like that. Everybody has the same name throughout. Listen. Except Aylin, she's got like 85 of those motherfuckers.
Yeah, she's got a lot of aliases. Liliana?
What does Nehemia call her?
Elenia. I want to say Elantra. That's a card.
Alentia.
Yeah.
I thought I had a lot of names. She's got a lot of names.
Yeah. But I mean, when you gotta keep hiding who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at the end of this book, she gets sent to Winland. No, we have no idea where Winland is. But she gets sent to Winland.
A court is held. Kale says, send her ass off to Winland.
He was trying to protect her from the king.
No, I get it. But Dorian's like, whoa, what the fuck?
You should have talked about this.
Did we not have talked about this before you just threw it out there? And he's like, I did what I did. My favorite part is he goes, somebody has to start leading Dorian.
I know. And the funny part
is a lover's quarrel.
It is. They're so mad at each other.
Yeah. Someone has to start leading around here, Dorian.
My favorite part about that whole thing is like at the end of the book when it's like the king's point of view or whatever, and that's when he finds Bobby Yellowlegs and they're talking about like the court or whatever, and he like all but says, I guess Dorian didn't know what Kale was doing. Weird. They
That's
talk all the
weird.
time. That's so weird.
It's not like them.
That's not like them.
Something is amiss.
And he's like, Dorian is so shocked. Huh, they must have not consulted the council.
Yeah. That's not like them. Those bitches know each other's everything. Yeah. There's a little bit of a quarrel going on, and that's when. And then, of course, Dorian gets Fleetfoot, and he's like, "The reason I won't be there to see you off is because I have a meeting." It's because he knows that Kale's going to be there to see her off.
Yeah, right. Give your bro
Kale's
some space.
there. Yeah, he's giving him his space.
Yeah.
Kale goes to see Selena off to Windland. She says, listen, she tells him, she literally does a data drop. She tells him everything. She's like, word keys, word gates, go down to the catacombs, there's some shit down there you'll find, but don't ever do it alone and don't do it at night.
She's like, here's all of this information that I don't know what to do with.
Yeah. Can you take
Figure it out, buddy.
Yeah. Then she whispers a date in his ear. He says, I love you. She says, I'm sorry. That's my bitch. Insert Gracie Abrams. I love you. I'm sorry. It'll pass. It's giving Fleabag. It'll pass.
That's like the only time that she says that she's sorry in the whole series.
Literally. She's never sorry. She's like, I'm sorry you love me.
She's like, the plan went to fuck because I didn't tell anybody, and you're in this plan, and then that was plan A, but I'm already on plan D.
I'm on plan 18,000D. Okay, like this is Microsoft itself. She's all
the way down here. Yeah. Meanwhile, we're over here on the single digit or single like letter things. So this is the only time she apologizes.
No, never to be heard of again.
No. She's like, an apology? I don't know her.
No,
I did what I did.
She whispers a date in his ear, and he's like, that's weird. He goes in her room, which in her room, conveniently enough, are the genealogical, royalty scribe, census things.
It's because Dorian put them there. He was hiding them.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I know.
Just making sure in case you forgot it the first one, second time through.
Dorian. I just want to say again, it's Dorian. He is the shit. Anyway, goes through. He's like, that's weird. Finds out these things. Selena's Leyland. He's shocked. He falls to his knees.
Mm-hmm.
It's the last line of the book. He falls to his knees.
Because he sent her to what's left of her family.
Mom's from, where her cousin is the ruler.
Where her aunt is. Fuck her aunt, but it's fine.
Where her Aunt Maeve is.
Yeah.
Who, that cunt.
Yeah.
We're going to edit that later.
I know. I mean,
that's a lot.
I mean, like 4 drinks when we talk about her. She's awful. But.
So all in all, fantastic book.
Super good.
Still love it.
Since we did it the wrong way, I will admit that it might have been the wrong way. But like I said, I didn't have Wi-Fi in Ireland to download a book. I think maybe that's why I liked the book so much, because I was like in Ireland, and it was like the part of the world is so old, and there's like castles, and we're going in and out of castles, and so it was like living my book out loud. Yeah, I was in Linland. Yeah, in Linland. Yeah. So read Assassin's Blade.
Yep.
After you read Crown of Midnight, do not read. I don't think the people that say that you need to read Assassin's Blade first are wrong.
Oh, you do not need. No, I highly encourage you to read Third of Glass first.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the way we're doing it, I believe it's the way it was written, so that's how it should be done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is giving. What order do you watch Star Wars? And this is giving the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You read it the right. You watch it the right way. By the way, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 1, 2. Or sorry, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then now all of the little side quests that are out there. But so next week it is Assassin's Blade. There are like little novellas. There's 4, I think, and it's like 1 book. And again, breaking it up into different novellas just makes it so much easier for someone to get through. Because the thought of a prequel when you're in the middle of a series is quite daunting. So I think the way she did it was, again, SJM, we love you. We appreciate you. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So next week is Assassin's Blade.
We'll see you guys then.
Bye.
Bye.